Starting out today's Sunrise Smart Start here, everyone, with new information about those two law enforcement officers killed in Onondaga County. They're now identified as Syracuse police officer Michael Jensen and Onondaga Sheriff's Deputy Michael Husak, both shot and killed Sunday night. It was all started with an attempted traffic stop. The vehicle sped away but was traced back to a home in Salina. Both the sheriff's deputies and police responded. We are told that the gunman, identified as 33-year-old Christopher Murphy, killed Husak in the backyard using an AR-15 before moving through the living room to the front yard, shooting at Syracuse police officers and killing Officer Jensen.
There are no words for it, except to tell them that he was a proud officer that worked a territory car, and even after only a little over 2 years on the job, you could tell he took his responsibility seriously to protect and serve the community.
Murphy was shot and killed during that gunfire. The sheriff's office says they also took a man named Sean Kinsella into custody, saying that he's a friend of Murphy's. No charges have yet been announced. As we turn to the response here at home, Rochester police extending their resources to assist Syracuse police and the Onondaga Sheriff's Office as they navigate these tough days ahead. RPD Chief David Smith says this latest shooting is drawing the same shock and grief from the communities after the deaths of officers Daryl Peterson and Anthony Mazurkowitz. Here at home, Smith says he's been in touch with both agencies, noting they supported RPD back in 2014 and 2022.
My first reaction was, oh no, not again. Because even though it's not us, it is us in many, many ways. So we were supported by them. We were also supported by, our Sheriff Todd Baxter, the towns. In fact, on the night of Tony's murder, when I was on Clinton Avenue, at one point I looked up and there were several town police chiefs around me that had come in that night to help, and that's what it's all about.
Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter also lending a helping hand, extending some outreach to these agencies in Syracuse. The Livingston County Sheriff's Office now explains how a suspect was able to check themselves out of the hospital after being charged with several felony sex charges. The person in question here, Patrick Steinmetz, arrested April 4th, the day after he was admitted to Strong Hospital. As his condition changed, the sheriff made that decision to release Steinmetz from custody in order to save taxpayer dollars, under the assumption that he would not leave the hospital. But he did, which is has prompted a large police response that was witnessed at Strong Saturday night. The sheriff saying he takes full responsibility for this.
If you talk to anybody here, I always err on the side of caution, but I also am a fiscal hawk and I look out for the taxpayer. Again, you try to make the best decision, and I own this one. This one sits with me 100%.
Steinmetz found a day later in a Rochester home. He's now back in custody. We're waiting for more details now from Greece Police, the department there, after officers responded to a shooting at Adeline Park. Officers on the scene at 9:30 last night told News 8 they do not believe there was any malicious intent behind the shooting. They couldn't comment on any specific details there, but they also say they can't comment on any injuries or arrests, but confirm that the park and the surrounding neighborhood are safe. Well, a board meeting in the town of Avon, working on that, discussing what happens now to Police Chief Joseph Geer. Geer suspended last month without pay. The officials tell us he can only be placed on that unpaid suspension for 30 days. Geer being investigated by the FBI and state comptroller over bookkeeping and scheduling issues. The mayor explains what the next steps are as the investigation goes on.
April 19th, we will have to place him back on paid suspension, but it isn't our intention to bring him back at this time.
The mayor adds that this will continue until the investigations clear Geer of any wrongdoing or if the disciplinary process has been completed, unless the Village of Avon feels it's necessary to take action before that. Again, that investigation ongoing. It's more than 2 weeks past due, but we have received word that the state lawmakers have reached a conceptual agreement for the state budget, not yet officially passed, but a framework of that deal has been completed, with the expectation the final budget should be sent to the governor's desk by the end of the week. Well, Governor Kathy Hochul has said the budget for the new fiscal year is $237 billion, with housing remaining one of the biggest issues holding up the spending plan. The governor announced a new statewide tax incentive for multifamily housing construction.
And we're investing $500 million to develop over 15,000 new housing units on state-owned sites. like former correctional facilities, areas near commuter rail, and underlies SUNY properties.
The agreement also includes increased penalties for retail theft criminals who assault workers, assigning 100 New York State troopers to bust retail theft rings, as well as stiffer penalties for business owners and landlords who allow illegal cannabis sales. Lawmakers further passed another extension, giving them until Thursday to pass this new budget. Well, the second annual National Black Authors Day is coming up very soon in order to celebrate as well as shed light on the importance and influence of Black literature. Aron Spitzer spoke with the founder of this day, talking about its importance, and she joins us now in studio. Aron.
Yes, National Black Authors Day is on May 4th. It's a day to celebrate Black authors, but also to combat the misrepresentation and struggles Black authors face in the publishing industry. Last year's big event featured 8 local authors at a Black-owned venue with Black-owned businesses. It was also hosted by Katira Poland, the founder of National Black Authors Day. At this year's event, attendees can expect to interact with vendors who focus on literacy, like a mobile bookstore and representatives from the Freedom Scholars Program. Of course, there will also be authors and a panel of librarians to inspire a love for reading and writing. Poland tells me Black authors face publishing challenges like whitewashing, lack of representation, and misrepresentation. She says the day is especially important given the current political climate.
Many of the books that are being banned are by Black authors. There's lots of pushback, so it's important that we have this day so that we are being authentic and recognizing that there's still a lack of appreciation for all that we've done and all that we do, and acknowledging that we have hardships and that we are overcoming them and that we should be celebrated and acknowledged for that.
This year's local celebration is Literacy Extravaganza 2024 at the Avenue Black Box Theater on May 4th in Rochester. Michaela, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Aron. And hometown lovers of Dyaisha Fair, our lovely WNBA Draft pick, the former high schoolers, coaches, and educators, as well as some family members, they all watched that WNBA Draft at a restaurant in Greece, cheering on the Edison Tech graduate.
Las Vegas Aces select Dyaisha Fair.
Yeah, great to see them so excited for her there. Fair selected 16th overall, now headed to Las Vegas. And some of her coaches say that they're very proud of what she's accomplished, all while not forgetting her roots.
I'm just proud that she made it. Like, this was her goal from the very beginning, and she did everything to achieve that. She's taken every step at every level to achieve what she wanted to achieve, and she's done it.
Yeah, again, great to see that pick there. He adds that Fair is part of the group of incoming players they believe will revive the WNBA. Okay, let's turn to that sunrise commute here. Our last check of your traffic here at 6:55 shows that accident at Clinton Avenue and East Broad Street. Everything else, your 390, 490, and 590 are looking beautifully clear as these skies we're expecting today. James, it's going to be beautiful.
You got your sunglasses?
I have them propped up in the car,
nice.
Ready to go. Obviously don't need them when we come in at 3 in the morning,
right,
but
yeah.
I imagine by the time I'm out at noon, scorching.
For sure, yeah. Your car warms up real nicely. It's 20 to 30 degrees warmer than the air temperature when you get to your car.
Yeah.
So just remember that. We'll go 60 for most. There will be a lake breeze that's going to keep those along Lake Ontario a bit cooler, down into the lower 50s, but you're used to that during springtime. 8-day forecast, rain on the way. We'll be much busier tomorrow talking about those showers.
Yes, we will be. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your morning with us here on News 8 at Sunrise. The next update is coming up in 30 minutes.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.